Sometimes we feel trapped in lies, games, mendacity, manipulations. And I think only the truth can really set us free. So, let's talk about it today using the Sufi Tarot Deck by Aida Hussein. Welcome back to Sweet Infinity. My name is Kieran, and today I'm reading from the Sufi Tarot Deck by Aida Hussein. It's a gorgeous deck, one of my favorites. I like to read from it. It's very comforting, very soothing. I love the colors, and it comes with a nice booklet. Cards are kind of big, but just so worth it. The artwork is very unique. West Asian, African, Middle Eastern, North African. Just really cool symbology. If you're interested in purchasing this deck, I'm going to leave a link or a few links in the description below for you. Sufism is a branch of Islam that is sort of mystical, has elements of Gnostic or mystical, spiritual, experiential beliefs and practices. It's an ancient tradition. It's very beautiful, and there's many varieties within it. So if you're interested in Sufism, I recommend checking it out. A lot of people know about Maulana Rumi, who was a poet and a philosopher. There are lots of others. There are Sufi traditions in Turkey, in all over West Asia. It's the areas called Syria and Lebanon, as well as from South Asia, where I'm from, in Pakistan and India and all these places. So I really find Sufism to be a fascinating set of practices. So let's read from this deck. And if you don't mind, while I shuffle, please subscribe to this channel and send me a thumbs up. And let me know if you are into this Sufi Tarot deck, if you have one yourself, and what you think of it. So I'm going to read a little bit from the introduction of this tarot deck, just to explain the connection between the Sufi tradition and the tarot tradition. This is from the author Aida Hussein. The Sufi tarot is my way of bringing together two traditions that I love. Two traditions based in healing and transformation that are often viewed as being distinct. The similarities, however, are endless. The journey, the symbolism, the art, the history, the elements, and the colors merge in a commingling dance of joy as wave upon wave of love and healing washes down upon us. What greater joy for a Sufi than to be able to bridge that which appears dissimilar? For me, the process involved meditating on each card and allowing that which came through to create something new. Sufism is the mystical dimension of Islam that is not limited to any one religion. Rather, it embodies the essence of the revelations of all prophets. It teaches us to look beyond the physical with the eyes of the heart, to uncover the hidden and the esoteric on the way to becoming whole versions of ourselves. Similarly, tarot is a tool for self-development and transformation based on the hidden messages and spiritual lessons of 78 cards. The arcana, or secret, of each card pushes us to discover deeper realms of our own being. It was so clear the secrets that both tarot and Sufism set out to uncover are the same. For Sufis, all knowledge is tied into the knowledge of the self. Sufism is called the path of the heart because it is a process of turning within to the fountainhead of all knowledge. And tarot is about getting to the bottom of the mystical truths behind the major and minor arcanas. Bringing these two traditions together was for me a way of bridging cultures, of bringing East and West together through a shared history of tarot. Traced back to the Mamluk Sultanate of ancient Egypt in the 1300s, with the first deck ever known still displayed at the Topkapi Palace Museum in Istanbul, Turkey, tarot was picked up by the Italians in the 1400s and adapted until it took on a very different flavor in the Renaissance. I wanted to honor the overlooked origins of tarot as well as the creative adaptations that came about in Europe. By re-envisioning and reinterpreting each card, Through the lens of Sufism, I hope to share the potency of these ancient mystical teachings, practices, and healing techniques. The sacred art of the cards uses the power of colors, elements, and subtle symbols to convey the deep messages that lie within. For as we move from the outer to the inner, we see that the path of the young soul upon which tarot is based mirrors the path of the Sufi. The poetry, philosophy, and teachings of two Sufis, 13th century poet Jalaluddin Muhammad Rumi, known popularly as Rumi, and Hazrat Inayat Khan, the teacher and musician from India who brought Sufism to the West in the early 20th century, and to whose spiritual lineage I belong, that's the author, have been central in my personal journey. Their words will appear throughout the cards, serving as a guide as we discover the meaning of tarot in our lives. Are you ready to begin the journey into yourself? I find that pretty cool. Sufi Tarot. What is the Sufi Tarot Deck telling us today? The Sultan. This is traditionally the card called the Emperor, and in this he's called the Sultan. Let's read from the booklet. The Sultan or Emperor is he who sets affairs in order. He rules by serving, by taking care of things, while the Shahbanu or Empress represents imagination. The Sultan represents reason and logic. He's all about helping, serving, listening to, and delivering the needs of the people. It is a position of great responsibility, which presents its own challenges, namely being able to balance power with heart. Although his position requires him to rule with grit, strength, and force, he risks becoming dominating and uncompromising, a dilemma well described by the spiritual psychology of the Sufis, who recognize the two basic kinds of consciousness, the qalb, heart-centeredness, and the nafs, al-ammara, the commanding self that feeds the ego, aggressive instincts, and the need to be right. When this card appears, you're being asked to examine your relationship with authority figures or those in leadership positions. If it comes up in relation to yourself, it's suggestive of stability and security in your life. It symbolizes law, structure, order, stability, financial viability, and a left brain approach. You're being pointed to hard work, discipline, and self-control, and shown the importance of setting your own rules and boundaries. The Sultan is about concrete actions and tangible results. Is there an area in your life to which you need to bring the work ethic and dynamism of the Sultan? Are you struggling with an authority figure who has not been able to balance their heart and ego? How do you temper the fiery energy inside of you? So what I'm getting from this is that this is about authority. Now, if you notice, there's these two rams, and they are loyal to him. They're loyal to the emperor. But the emperor is sitting in this defiant position and very authoritative. How is your relationship to authority? Ace of Cups. Very different cards. I feel like you have a need to be away from authority. You shun having authority. And on some level, you kind of only want to look at the new life and love, children. This represents children. So you have this desire to not deal with affairs of the state, affairs of authority, being a leader. And you have generally veered towards wanting to be more of a nurturing person, more of somebody who gives life or who defends life. And you're not interested in this kind of political, authoritarian, hierarchical structures. Am I onto something? Eight of Swords. However, you have felt trapped. So even though you would rather not deal with that, you would rather deal with the sweeter, cuter, cuddlier things in life, but you have been trapped. You feel trapped. And that's what the Eight of Swords is about. So this is somebody who is looking from behind a bunch of swords out towards us, the viewer. But it's more that she is stuck back there. If you notice, she's got some nice jewelry on. Her hair looks like it's made nicely. She looks like she is well taken care of, but she can't escape. So she's in a kind of a gilded cage. So it might be that you feel like you are in a position of authority, or maybe partnered with, or in some way access to authority is something you might have, but you're in a gilded cage. And you kind of spend your time taking care of things, maybe animals or kids, and you try to distract from the authority that you feel trapped under. It could be somebody you're married to, somebody in your family, somebody who is a very authoritative person and who tends to command a lot of power. And you, by virtue of being with them or connected to them, have been feeling trapped. You would like to start your own little business, your own project. You have this desire that if you could get out there, you would, you have the Ace of Cups and then you have the Ace of Coins. So you have a lot of lovely ideas. Aces are about ideas, about the seeds of something new, right? The seeds of love, the seeds of some new material project, maybe a philanthropic project, maybe a kind of charity that you want to start, some kind of natural, organic, or human-centered work that you want to do. So you've been feeling trapped, but you have ideas for this stuff, but you are not able to make that choice. Two of Swords is about making very difficult choices where both of them lead to swords, and swords are a very difficult suit in the tarot. And so you have to maybe decide to give up something that is very valuable to you in order to get something else that also may be very valuable to you. And you are having a hard time deciding. Now, this all goes along with this character, right? This is probably the same character. On different days, maybe she feels trapped. On other days, she might not feel trapped, but she might feel like she's faced with impossible choices. And that's how I'm feeling right now, is that you are in a situation where your world revolves around somebody who you're not sure is a good person, who has an immense amount of power, who has a lot of loyal people around him, who just look up to him and agree to everything he wants without really paying attention to how he's also keeping you and possibly others in a position of precariousness. Now, these could be aspects within yourself too. If this doesn't resonate as a specific kind of story, sometimes these are archetypes and aspects of our own personality. Maybe there's a part of you that has become kind of ruthless in some ways, or not trusting, or being very much into being a control freak kind. And at the same time, there's more creative sides of you, more loving, kind, gentle, creative, and wanting to do new things sides of you who are trapped, who are feeling trapped. So what's within and what's without are often mirrors of each other. As above, so below. And if this is not your external story, this might be an internal story that you are living out, which is why you might have found this video at this point. Son of Staffs. So this is the Knight of Wands. Let's read from the booklet again. The Son of Staffs is an energetic and rebellious free spirit who tends to leap without thinking. A true representative of the dynamic energy of fire, he is fierce, daring, and passionate. In our card, we see him galloping in a spiral as he circles closer and closer into the heart of the flame, just like the moth in front of him. Will he too be singed? While the metaphor of the moth and flame for the Sufis has long connoted attraction to and union with the divine flame, in our image it suggests an impetuosity. In his thrill-seeking behavior, he does not seem to notice where he is headed, putting himself and those around him in danger. Does this resonate with you? Is this someone in your life, a role that you play, or a message? So these court cards, as they're called, tend to represent people that you know or specific roles that you play. And what I'm getting here between all of these is that there's someone who you may be in contact with or who you may know, either getting to know or might have just come across, who has this energy of being a passionate, almost reckless, just go-getter. And this is someone who's inspiring you. This is someone who's bringing light to your life, right? We've seen these characters here and here being sort of in the dark, being caged, wanting and dreaming of new things, of new life, of new love, of new energy, of new projects. But this character is someone who may be tempting you to do some things to break out of those cages and giving you ideas about which of these difficult choices you might want to make. Maybe this person or character is showing you a third path, a different path out of this impossible choice situation. However, is this something that you should follow? You have to think about that, right? Because again, you are facing these difficult choices. So what does that mean in case of this person, this entity, this figure? Could be a real person or an aspect of yourself or some new thing that you are drawn to. Murshida. This is the High Priestess. This card goes deep within, meditates, finds the power of the Great Mother, the great feminine aspect of the divine, that energy of fruitfulness, of the earth, of abundance, of fertility, of the secrets of the divine feminine. This card is telling you to get in touch with that. The divine feminine is not any woman. It is an aspect of creation, which is where, if you notice from her skirt, the ocean rises. This is the great mother of the ancient ways. And this is a beautiful moon that's rising as well. The moon is seen as an aspect or a symbol of the divine feminine in many cultures. And the moon is also very significant in Islamic and Sufi-based cultures. And in here, she's got a rosary in her hand. She's praying. She's meditating. And she wants to connect with you. What you seek is also seeking you. And unlike all of these other women characters, she is free. She is fully herself. She is the rock and the ocean and the sky and the moon. And you need to maybe get in touch with those aspects of you that are expansive, that are big and wide and free, regardless of the situation that you might be in. It's very important. The Murshida. Let's read from the booklet. Murshida, the High Priestess. The Murshida is a mystic who has conquered herself through contemplation, meditation, and devotion. Her power is her quietude, her strength, her stillness. Known as the High Priestess in traditional tarot, she represents an energy that is about being, not just doing. In her tranquility is a quiet growth, and in her placidity, a silent manifestation. Though she may appear physically inactive, she is activating that which is dormant. Grounded on earth and connected to the heavens, she embodies the Jamal, feminine receptive energy, and her modus operandi is batin, quiet and unseen, unlike the alchemist's outward zahir way of active communication. She guards a secret divine power. She knows that by turning her heart into an empty cup, she will be able to receive all that she needs. When this card appears for you, you're being asked to trust your judgment, your inner voice, to pay more attention to the knowledge of the heart than of the mind. Don't look here and there for answers. They are already within you. You are being encouraged to be spiritually self-sufficient. Ask yourself whether your old methods are leading you toward your desired result. If not, ask yourself whether you are ready for a new approach, ready to go inward and leave outward actions behind. You're being guided to go within to that place of expansion where you feel connected with the divine. There you will find the answers you seek and achieve the results you desire. Stillness is not stagnation. I love this card. I love the moon in her heart space. It's beautiful. So, the feminine face of the divine, the Great Mother, is calling you. And I want to ask, what is it that you feel trapped by? What is the core of your trap? 8 of Coins. You have felt that you don't have enough skill to be able to achieve what you want to achieve. On some level, you have felt imposter syndrome, inadequacy. It could be that you tried to get out and build that project that you wanted to build, and something happened. Maybe someone discouraged you. Maybe someone took advantage of you. Maybe you didn't succeed in the first attempt. It's very difficult to succeed at anything at the first attempt. And maybe you gave up, but you need to hone your skill. That's what this character is doing. And you need to remember the Sufi, the mystic, while you hone your skill. They are the same, because even though this character is working with his hands and this character is lost in a mystical, enchanted trance, being in connection with the divine, they're working in a similar way, because they've both lost that sense of self, the ego, whatever you want to call it, and are connected with a greater purpose, a greater force than themselves. The time that you're spending right now, even though you might not be in the best of positions, you might be feeling trapped in some way in a gilded cage, but you have certain ability and time and tools to be able to hone the kind of craft that eventually you want to use in the world. And this card is suggesting that you take that opportunity and do that. Where else have you felt disconnected? Mizan. Let's read from the booklet. Mizan, known as judgment in traditional tarot, has also been called liberation, since it refers to rising above and out of one's old life. Although Mizan alludes to the balancing that is believed to happen on the Day of Judgment, for the Sufis every day is a day of judgment, and every moment a chance to resurrect. Rebirth takes place each time we are inspired enough to want to transform our old ways of being. In this card, this inspiration is represented by the vibration of music as it stirs the stagnant, tightly wound pods of the cocoons until they transform into butterflies. And the muse is none other than the ethereal, divine feminine, breathing gentle breath of compassion into the ney, the traditional Turkish reed flute. So the judgment card is usually about feeling judged, wanting to prove yourself, wanting to be seen as a credible source. And in this card, this beautiful imagery is happening where this figure, she is playing this beautiful music. You can see the sound waves all around her, and it's affecting these cocoons into becoming butterflies. If you notice, these cocoons look like human figures, right? They look like people crouched over. So on some level, one of the things that's held you back is that you want to create something that's transformative, and you want to help change the world. You want to help make things better. And maybe the kind of situation and systems you've been part of, you see them from the inside. On some level, you have wanted to be a force for good in this world, a force where people are able to come out of their cocoon and become butterflies. And that's something you wish to see facilitated. You want to be part of that. It might have to do with music or sound or something like that. But even if it's not directly about that, it's about playing the song that frees people, playing the song that transforms people from cocoons that are stuck in their old ways to becoming the butterflies. That is their destiny. And you want to be part of that. So I'm going to pick one more card. How can you be that? What's the first step for you? The first step is to step out of that tower, let it go, and your departure will probably help bring it down. And to be honest, that's the card of this hierarchical authoritarian system, which nobody's allowed to question, which has kept you and others trapped, which has kept you and others in very dangerous, precarious situations. And the cards are telling us that it needs to go. And you are not the only one feeling like this. You're not the only one who's ready to bring down that tower of lies, the tower of abuse of power. It is up to you, and it is up to all of us to tell the truth. And when we tell the truth, we liberate ourselves and we liberate the world. And I think it's about time we all told the truth. So the first step for you to free yourself is to tell the truth to yourself and to others who need to hear it. Come what may. Some towers have outlived their use. Some towers are built on the bones of people who are haunting those towers. We have to tell the truth about what's happening to us, about what we're seeing, about what we know. People are counting on you. You are counting on you. You are watching you. Your conscience is watching. Just like this one. She's watching. She might be blindfolded, but she's watching. She might be blindfolded, but she's watching. Both of these characters are blindfolded. It's interesting, right? Have you been covering your eyes, not wanting to see what's right in front of you, not wanting to tell the truth? It's time to tell the truth. And I'm going to pick one more card as a bonus. Malika of Swords. This character cuts through all the BS. If you notice, we started with these female characters who are blindfolded, who are very disempowered. And then we moved on to the Murshida, who is deep in meditation, who is able to manifest things without even moving a muscle. And then finally, we get to this figure, the Malika of Swords. She's all about action. You cannot lie to her. She knows when somebody's lying to her. This is the part of you that wants the truth to be outed, that wants you to tell what you know to the people who need to hear it. The truth shall set you free. The Malika of Swords will help you get there. Thank you for listening. I hope this was enlightening, insightful, and I hope you come back and watch more of these videos. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a sweet infinity.